Yeah. Just hit me out. Yeah. We pick and choose due to religious rules. Some spiritual when others just refuse to submit to you based on opinion, but the majority is usually the consistent view. For instance, some call hip-hop demonic, but still watch the Expendables, Deadpool, and Equalizer and other action type of genres without a set of equalize on the cinema content, but are quick to cut out what we feel is expendable from our time of binge watching new Netflix dramas. For example, we love birthdays, though the origin is found in Egyptian false gods, and also Christmas is the day of the solstice, which is star worship, where pagan festival rape and other demonic things take place, but we place the birth of Christ on that day as if that's not blasphemous. Just a thought. You can disagree if you want, and I'm not bothered by it, but judge me for having different opinions. I don't follow y'all's way, I follow Yahweh, even down to what's absorbed into my heart daily. It's part crazy to say a cartoon is demonic, but when I say I want to practice the Sabbath, you make a face and say that's the law, baby. As if it's not a day that I could keep holy and consecrated. But let me stand out and not be sucked into the culture that we've all created. I'm just saying, I pick and choose too. We all do it. My intellect needs to be renewed too. And I do listen to you cause I know that God could use you too. I respect you, but I feel looked down on sometimes and less spiritual for the youth that Paul told me not to allow neglect on. I can't let rejection get me stepped on, but I also understand there's levels to it. But if I went extreme and cut out everything I believed had any hint of leaves attached to it, I'd be crazy. But I can't admit I might be wrong, like maybe you're right. But the thing that bothers me is when others can't, and other perspectives are put off as stubbornness, rebellion, or a form of junior varsity Christianity, or that I'm one who just gets his ideas from the internet, as if hours of research isn't a benefit, or that it doesn't show any bit of diligence, like my walk doesn't reflect excellence, like my humility doesn't reflect reverence, which all reflects genuineness. I got an ear to hear, but many don't take me serious enough to hear me out. That's the disconnect from the older generation and mine, but I can admit that a lot of us struggle with pride among my peers. We need the discipline offered to y'alls. I just wish it was a two-way road, cause most of us aren't heard, which is why we don't show on Sundays, just to hear you, but you can't hear us. Or we're just called names instead of any attempt to understand there's a bridge that needs to be built, and it'll take each generation working together to lay the ground. I've noticed dismissive labels in order to not deal with the religion we all deal with to some capacity. But if conversations ain't had, then we just assuming on both sides and are both tied up in religious bondage while trying not to be too religious. How religious is that? You see, I do got an open mind, but not enough to where my brain falls out. Some folks are wound up too tight where they won't come out of the four walls, and anyone who does is frowned upon. You see, conversation is how civilization got to where it is now. But without that, how do we bounce back from this generational gap in religious dogmas? Let's put it aside for just a minute and lock eyes without the fear of accusation from you and I. Do we got eyes of Pharisees or eyes of Christ? Scripture should always be prescribed, but some are addicted to pharisaical lies. I don't believe you're a monster for calling me spiritually blind, because I get it. I have the capacity to see either side. Paul said that when there's literal meat sacrificed to demons, you can eat it when it's sanctified. Am I right? I love you, and sometimes I need to voice my thoughts without fear of being shut down like many times. And sometimes it's my own second guessing that got me asking why. We pick and choose.